All right, well, welcome back to Allison Customs. We got hopefully a quick project today. We're going to be working on the 2016 Dodge Ram. We're going to put a bed liner in it, and I'm using the same Raptor product I've used on so many other projects, either for undercoating or like on the Scout where I did the inside of the whole cab. And we're just doing black. You could get the tintable color or the tintable Raptor liner. You could get the tintable Raptor liner and then match the body color. I just didn't really see the necessity in that. It's had a plastic bed liner in it since I've owned it. It looks like it probably didn't have one originally because there's a bunch of red scuff marks and stuff under there on the paint. So, and there was quite a bit of grease. I don't know if the other bed liner was leaking, or because, you know, I carry all kinds of stuff in there, or if somebody else had stuff in it before. But I've sprayed it once with degreaser. I'm going to do that again, then wash it out one more time. And then, because all this is dirt, I'm just trying to avoid making a mud puddle here. And then we'll back it down here, get a Scotch-Brite pad out, Scotch-Brite the whole inside of the bed. And I'm going to pull the bed rail caps and the cap on the tailgate. I'm going to take the tailgate off, set it aside, spray it separate, and there's a panel that goes over the locking mechanism in the tailgate, so I'm going to take that off and spray it separate so that all those pieces get fully coated, but also so that if you ever had to get into the locking mechanism, you're not trying to cut away the Raptor liner. Additionally, I have a B&W gooseneck hitch in the bed of the truck, the flip hitch type. So we'll pull the ball out of there, tape everything off, tape off the little rings, the D-rings that you put your safety chains to, and just kind of get everything. There's a light in there. I'm going to take that off. Any of the hooks, anything I can take off that will make a cleaner finish later, we're going to go ahead and take off. Someday I still want to put a flatbed on here, but who knows when that'll be. So we're going to keep cleaning and get back to it. So while the truck was outside, while there was still water in it, I got my Scotch-Brite pad out, just a red Scotch-Brite. Did the whole inside, edges, everywhere that I want to put bed liner, covered the whole thing, and then washed it out yet again, made sure it was nice and clean. Then I used acetone and wiped everything down that was going to get covered with the bed liner. And then I taped off the entire truck so that any overspray doesn't get on the rest of the truck. So that's where we're at now. I just finished that. I'm now 3.5 hours into the cleaning, taping, whole process of getting this ready. Once we start the Raptor, it takes, you spray the first one, and then an hour later you spray your second coat. An hour later, if you want to do a third coat, you can do that. I'm hoping that I can get it on in 2 coats. I'm going to try and lay it a little bit thick. And we're going to be spraying it on just like we have on the other stuff. So I just got to get my paint shaker out, start mixing this stuff up, and get it in. I bought a 1-gallon kit. I have 3 more quarts of the stuff in inventory, so if need be, I'll just snag out of that and finish it. But I think a gallon's going to get it, and we'll see here pretty quick. Oh, and then in the center, I just taped off the hitch and the pins, and to hold those chain hooks or safety catches in place, they're spring loaded. They spring down to the bottom. So to hold them up, I just used a drywall screw underneath it so that the point is on the bed, and the Phillips head side is actually holding up the loop. So everything else looks good. I've pulled all the lights and other latches out, and then while I'm getting the first coat on this and it's starting to dry, I'll prep the tailgate and the other panel. They're clean. I just need to scrub them and Scotch-Brite them, and then acetone them, tape off the rest of the tailgate, and I can set those up in here and spray those real quick while this is drying so that I have something to do for that hour of waiting for this coat to dry. All right, that's coat one. While we're letting that set up, I'm gonna go get the tailgate and get it prepped and get it sprayed. Again, that's about it. I think it came out looking really sharp, real clean. I rolled over the edge of the tailgate here, about, or on the bed, about 3/4 of an inch. I did spray the back of the bottom of the tailgate over here, rolled over the top here. So everywhere that I've covered, the tailgate cap and the bed caps should cover. One of the things I could tell was the bed caps had been off the truck before, and I kept wondering, after I got it, the ends kept wanting to roll up, and I finally figured out that somebody had them off before and broken the catch on the ends, all 4 ends of them. You'd thought they'd have figured it out after breaking one set, but anyway, so they used some 3M, I'm guessing 3M double-sided tape to try and stick them back down, which wasn't working, so the ends of all of them were starting to curl up. So I'm gonna go back to Mopar. Probably, I don't know, I'll look and see if somebody else has got some good ones. Put new ones on there and probably get a matching one for the tailgate, just to, you know, make it look nice and new. Need to wait for 24 hours to put them on anyway, so that the bed liner can dry. And then I've got my toolbox that goes back in this side, so I'll wait, put that back in after it's had plenty of time to dry. But for now, it's pretty well done. I still need to put the liners back in the wheel wells, and the reason those are out is when I got everything cleaned up, there was dents all in the fender wells, and so I took those out so I could hammer them back out. And I didn't try and make them perfect, but I did try to smooth it out a little bit and get rid of the giant divots. Whoever had the truck before, in the less than 9,000 miles they had it, they'd beat it up pretty good. Which I think is probably why somebody threw that bed liner in it, to hide all that, versus, you know, having to paint the bed or do something to make it look right. Anyway, that's that. I'm gonna pull this up to the other shop, let this dry for next day or two, and order some bed caps. So just so we're all on the same page, what I used is the Raptor bed liner. That's a 2-part system. It comes with the hardener and everything. This kit actually came with rollers. It's good that it had that roller set up in there. I thought at first it was just a waste of money, but I was trying to spray kind of upside down to get the bottom side of the bed rails and make sure I had good coverage everywhere. Some of the bed liner would drip out of the hole that lets air into the system so that the bottle doesn't become a giant vacuum. And so I'd get these splotches of stuff, so I grabbed one of the rollers and I'd roll that out real quick, and it would make a nice finish, you know. So you could roll this in for sure. I think it would take quite a while to get a good coverage, so I definitely recommend spraying it. But I've been very happy with this product. You've seen it on a couple different things now, but the Raptor bed liner, I recommend it. You can order it on Amazon. I'll put links in the description. I didn't have enough, so I had to run into town, and AutoZone, if you have that in your area, they carry it. The kit they carry was this one, which is 1 gallon of the product and the rollers. I did go and get out of my inventory a 5th bottle. So this is a short bed, and I did the tailgate, I did the panels, I did everything separate, so there's, you know, kind of over covering, you know, covering extra stuff. I wrapped into the taillight areas, and more than you would necessarily have to do. But if you're doing this yourself and you got a long bed, you're almost certainly going to want 1.5 gallons. The short bed, this is a 6.5 foot bed. It looked fine after the full gallon, but I'm also going to have my my hitch in here, which sits down on this, and so I wanted it as thick as I could reasonably on the floor. So I used an extra bottle and just did the floor, about 1.5 more coats on the floor. So it's got about 3.5 coats on the floor, and then two and a little extra on the sides. And the tailgate has 3 coats on it, just because I'm always setting stuff up here and rolling it in and out. My bottles for the welders and stuff like that. So I did a little more than maybe they call for, but you know, I know I'm going to abuse it. So anyway. So here's the bed up close. You can see the texture I used. The instructions call for 40 to 60 psi. If you want a really fine texture, I would raise the pressure to 60, some maybe even a little bit more than that. That's on you. And then if you want a really heavy texture, you want to lower the pressure, maybe get down into the 40 or just a little less. I like this kind of, I kind of think it's a little heavier texture. So I ran everything at about 65 psi. Got a couple coats in, and then my final coat, I came back with it run down at about 40 psi and just got a little heavier texture on that last coat. But other than that, I love the product, and wasn't really, I was just showing you what I was doing today, but thought I'd make sure I shared the product with you. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again on the Al's Customs Project Car TV.